This video is going to walk you through all of the different formulas that you need in your spreadsheet to make it interactive. You'll notice that I'm fully prepared with all of my categories already typed. I have my fixed expenses, living expenses, optional expenses, as well as a section for my grand totals. Now I want to discuss this piece. Every cell or box that is currently in yellow is going to require a formula to be typed into it to make our spreadsheet interactive. Let's begin at the top. If I click on the cell one time, I'm able to start typing into it. This is our net pay, which is our annual salary after taxes have been removed. For this project, we are going to use an 80% amount. So we want to tell the computer we want this cell to be 80% of this number. So I'm going to click once again in my net pay section. I'm going to go ahead and type equals. I will then select my annual salary and then tell the computer by saying Shift 8, grabbing the little asterisk symbol, and then 0.8. Currently, it is telling the cell for this one to always be 80% of this one. So now our taxes have been removed and we're ready to move forward. If you want to check, let's say you get a raise, you could change your annual salary to a larger amount, and this cell needs to change with it once you hit enter. There we go. I can see that it's live and it's changing. I am now going to hit Control Z to go back one step so that I have my normal amounts and can move forward. Now let's talk about monthly net pay. We want our monthly net pay to be our annual net pay, but divided by 12, since it's monthly. So I will click on the monthly net pay cell and tell it to equal, and then you click on your net pay amount, and then hit backslash for division, and then 12. Upon hitting enter, you're good to go. Now, once again, you can check to see that this worked if you were to change any of these boxes now, since they're related, and both of them should change with it. So let's say that my annual salary, once again, I get a nice raise because, man, I'm just doing well at work. I'm going to change that to 90,000. I should see both of these boxes change with it. There it is. It worked. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Control Z to go back to my normal numbers so I can move forward. All right. Now we're ready to handle the different categories for our different sets of expenses. I want this total box right here. I want that to be the total of all of the boxes above it. So what I'm going to do is once I hit enter, once I select this cell, I'm going to go ahead up to this symbol right here, which offers some different functions. I'll click on that and hit sum because I want it to add. After hitting that, it is ready for you to select all of the boxes that you would like it to add. So I'm going to click on my first fixed expense, hold down the mouse, and drag it over all of the ones that I want it to add, and then hit enter. I can now see that it totaled it up nicely, and the way that I could check is I could go back, and let's say that at the end of the year our rent was raised to $2,000. I'm going to increase this amount, and I should see this total go up with it, which I did. I'm going to go ahead and hit Control Z to go back so that I'm with my normal numbers. That is the same operation that you are going to want to do in this total cell as well as this one. So once again, you select the cell, you go up to the Functions button, hit Sum, and have it add up all of the ones in that category. Now let's talk about percents. We want this cell, I'm in my fixed expenses category, and this will be the same for your living expenses as well as your optional. We want this cell to show what percentage of your money do you end up spending on fixed items. So we're going to go ahead and have it equal, so I'm going to hit the equal button, and we are going to do this total, and then backslash, and then go up to our monthly net pay, and then hit enter. So now I want this to be a percentage and I want it to show it to me as a percent. So I'm actually going to click on this number and go up to Format Number and then scroll over to percent. Now I can see this in a number that it's a little bit friendlier to me. And that's how you do it. So I can now see that I spend approximately 53.63% of my monthly budget on fixed expenses. You're going to do the same process for your living expenses. Once again, you're going to hit equals, select the total for that category, hit the backslash for division, and then select your monthly net pay and hit enter. Now, once again, we want that number to be viewed as a percentage. So I'm going to go to Format, Number, and Percent. Almost there. You're going to repeat those same two formulas that you've seen previously in this optional category. So let me go ahead and do that real fast. I want this to total the ones above it. So I'm going to go up to Sum, select all three, and hit Enter. And then for the percentage, I will have it be equals this button, or excuse me, that cell for my total, divided by with a backslash, and then my monthly net pay. Enter. I want that number to be viewed as a percent by going to Format, Number, and Percent. We're almost there. Now we're going to focus in on our grand totals section. For our total expenses, if you think about it, this needs to be the addition of all three of our different totals that we've already calculated. So I'm going to hit or select this cell, and I want it to equal, and now I'm going to go to those three totals. Select that total, hit plus, select this total, hit plus, and then select my third and final total, and then hit enter. And so now this grand total will always be equal to the sum of these three items. Now, I'm noticing that I'm a touch over budget because my total expenses are slightly greater than my monthly net pay, which means I'm over budget and I'm going to need to subtract the difference between those, which is $125. I'm going to need to remove that from a certain category. So let's see here. Where could that be taken away? If I don't feel like I can remove it from any of these others, I could go over to my optionals, and I'm going to take away $125 from my savings account, which would drop this down to $375. Okay, now I can tell that my total expenses are matching my monthly net pay, which means that I'm using 100% of my money. Now for the percentage, I'm going to go ahead and select that cell, and I want it to be the addition of my three different percent categories that we've already done. So once again, I will select this cell and tell it to equal, and then I will grab this percentage, hit plus, and then this percentage total, and hit plus, and then my final percentage total, and hit equals. Now you can see that I'm incredibly close to 100%, which is your goal. Thanks for watching. Hope that helps.